Maybe because I was born on the Mediterranean, I feel so connected to this sea, to this land, to this light. Because the Costa Blanca is my passion, it's my life, it's who I am. It defines me as a person and sets me apart from the rest. Yes, it's important not to forget who we are and where we come from. That helps us understand the meaning of our lives. By this sea I was born and grew up, laughed and cried too, the emotions of life. Our land is health and well-being, the joy of living, in our own way, in our own style, authentic. That's why so many artists come to the Costa Blanca looking for inspiration, to capture the essence, that light that defines our character, and not just artists. So many people come here and stay. The sky, the landscape, the rosy sunsets, the warm sand under your feet, the sea breeze on your skin, the mountains, and seeing the sea from the heights. I love to close my eyes, take a deep breath, and feel the sun on my eyelids. As if the light was inside me. I can't explain it. As my grandmother used to say, life is full of inexplicable things. You have to live them, feel them. I had to live in other parts of the world to really value what we have here. I have everything I need. My future is here. I've learned to enjoy the little things, the little pleasures in life. And we know a lot about those. There's nothing more authentic than feeling happy in the place where you were born. And however hard I try, I can't explain it in words. Costa Blanca, authentically ours.
Hello everyone, good afternoon today. Thank you for joining us today in one of these little webinars that we do. And I'm happy to introduce here Richard Hill. He's joining us. He's the Vice President of Brexpats in Spain. I would say the #1 organization of expats nowadays in Europe. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Ignacio, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Richard. We've got, on the other hand, Antonio Yelo from MAPFRE as #1 company in Spain about insurance. He will tell us a bit about health insurance today, how the expat scenario is. Hello, Antonio.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you all. Thank you for inviting us.
Hello, we've got another Antonio as well, hidden here on the camera, Bernante as well, he's mixing. I don't know if he can see us. Hello, Antonio. Good.
Hello.
We've got, yeah, good. We've got Pedro Heredia, he's Vice President of the Law Society in Alicante. Hello, Pedro.
Hello, Ignacio. Good afternoon.
We've got Michael Davies, ex-honorary consul and very well expat here. Well, obviously he's always a Spanish already. A very good lawyer from Andalusia. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Ignacio. Hello, everyone.
We have Sergio from Euromarina talking today a bit about investment for those who are trying to get golden visa. Hello, Sergio. Can you see us today? Well, I think Sergio is having problems still, and then we're ready to pass the word over to Richard Hill, who is been through all this Brexit problem over 5 years, I believe, Richard, and I will be grateful if you could tell us how the expat community stands today after the Brexit, or as a non-European, because there is a lot of people that does only affect the new legal scenario for expats in general, non-European citizens, which there are a lot of Americans, Canadians, etc., etc. So over to you, Richard. I know you are in a beautiful place, I think far away from Spain, but just over to you, Richard.
Well, thank you, Ignacio. Yes, I'm the Vice President of Brexpats in Spain. And I actually live in Alicante, but I decided for this webinar to go to the land of wishful thinking, hence the background. I wish I was there, but I'm not. Brexpats in Spain. over 25,000 members now, the largest organisation of British expats about Brexit in Spain. I wish we were just about Brexit, but we're not. We're about COVID as well now, because there's no choice. And Ignacio has asked me to cover where we are. Well, of course, it divides into two groups. There are those who are here under the working agreement, and generally speaking, those that have applied for their TIE prior to the 31st of December, there are little or no issues. That's worked well. There are some issues, which I'll come on to in a minute, for those that are still trying to transfer TIE to TIE, and I'll come on to those, and there are other issues as well, but we'll cover them quickly. For those who are post the working agreement, there are issues, and there's no doubt about that, and I believe, Ignacio, that this webinar will cover many of those issues, which will hopefully assist people. The situation at the moment is that our membership is growing simply because of the situation that exists with lack of information or misunderstanding, and that is a continuing problem. The organisation itself has recently been recognised by the British government, with our president, and Hernandez, receiving an MBE, member of the British Empire, for services with Brexpats in Spain to the expatriate community, as have all the other organisations in Europe. The British government have decided to acknowledge their, I'm going to say, presence rather than their thankfulness for what we've been doing, because I doubt they are too thankful for some of the things. Okay, let's just deal quickly with the problems which I'm sure people will address throughout the meeting. One of the big ones that we keep encountering, in fact, I've sent a client to Ignacio today, only this afternoon, is that extranjeros are demanding absolute proof of residence prior to December the 31st, and they are even rejecting Padron Historica and Padron if they're dated after the 31st of December. This is an issue, and I don't know, Michael may have a comment on this for Almeria as well, I don't know, but it's certainly happening in Valencia and Alicante. The exact rule is that if you can categorically prove you were resident in Spain prior to the 31st of December, then you come under the withdrawal agreement. The fact that they're saying it's got to be a padron dated prior to the 31st of December is a problem. Now, the driving licence issues. I'm fed up with talking about driving licences. But yes, they've extended it, for which we're very thankful, the period where people can apply for a driving licence under the WA. But now they're saying you've got to have 185 days proof of residence with a padron. It doesn't make much sense. And finally, the NLV. Now, there is a process for the NLV. It's divided into two. If you're coming from the UK, you do the initial process in the UK with a Spanish consulate. But then there is a second part of the process in Spain. And the number of people who are contacting us and saying they didn't know that there was a second part of the process. They didn't know they had to do anything when they get to Spain. It's not well explained by the Spanish consulate, and it's not explained hardly at all by the British Embassy and Brits in Spain. So maybe that's something that can be discussed. Probably gone on a bit long, Ignacio. Thank you for letting me start the meeting like this. And as I say, I wish you well from the Caribbean.
Thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, and thank you for all the help you're doing on a daily basis to Brexpats in Spain. A lot of people with problems, and then you're doing a great job over there on a non-lucrative association. I'm going to pass over to Antonio from MAPFRE now. He's going to talk about, Richard, one of the things that is required, even if we get that TIE, which we're still on time to do it for those who were resident before the 31st of December 2020. And even for those, as Richard said, the non-lucrative visa, the golden visa, or even, Richard, you'll be amazed, we did start even to do a process for 𝐼𝐴ZG, which is social tie, for those people who did not comply last year, any of the requirements by some reasons, and they've been here in Spain for probably more than 3 years or on their way. That's another route to get them a permit to live here in Spain, okay, legally. I'll pass over to Antonio, which I'm sure he'll give us tips of advice, what we need to look when we search and need to shop around about health insurance. Over to you, Antonio.
Okay. Thank you. I'm really happy. I really appreciate your invitation for two personal reasons. First, I was born in Cartagena, in Murcia, so I belong to Mediterranean. I feel very happy when I saw the first video. I know how marvelous is that sea, and I miss it because I'm living in Madrid. So thank you for the video. And the second reason is that I'm happy to talk with expats because I have been an expat myself. I was assigned with MAPFRE, always with MAPFRE, first to the Philippines, then to Brazil, and then to Turkey. I have been 10 years living abroad, and I feel an expat, and I miss to be an expat. So I understand the problems and the things, the paperwork, all the things you have to fight when you are living abroad. I'm going to tell you now about the MAPFRE solution, the MAPFRE health insurance solution for this problem like health. Health is marvelous, it's something nice, but sometimes, and we know dramatically what happened with health. So it's something we need to protect in order to enjoy Mediterranean, in order to enjoy our expat experience. And I'm going to tell you about MAPFRE. MAPFRE is a very old company. MAPFRE was founded 88 years ago in Spain, and now it's a multinational, and that is the reason I was living abroad, assigned to work with MAPFRE. MAPFRE has companies in 51 countries around the world. MAPFRE is working in every branch of insurance. We started in the agriculture insurance, but now we are on that. We are on motor car, homeowners, every kind of insurance you need, you will find it in MAPFRE. The health insurance is one of the main branches, is one of the main business of MAPFRE, and we are growing lately a lot because Spanish people and foreigners are appreciating our coverages and the possibilities of making different types of products. We have then in a few minutes, I will share my screen in order to show you which are the main characteristics of MAPFRE insurance. I'm using this presentation in order to tell you things that are different from other companies, because as a matter of fact, every company, you know, the other companies of insurance, health insurance, we have similar coverages, but we try to differentiate our coverages from others. In MAPFRE, basically, you can get two types of insurance. The first one is the reimbursement insurance. It's simple. You pay your bills in the hospital or in the physician, and then you don't need to tell the physician you have an insurance. You pay as a private client, and then you send that bill to MAPFRE, and MAPFRE reimburse 90% in the inpatient expenses and 80% in the outpatient expenses. This is the reimbursement And the other type is what we call asistencia sanitaria, medical network insurance. In medical network, you receive a health card which identifies you as a insured of MAPFRE. You go with that medical card to the hospital or to the physician, and you don't have to pay nothing. You don't have to pay a single euro. In the reimbursement type, you also have that possibility. So the reimbursement is the most complete solution for health insurance. Of course, it's more expensive because you have the both possibilities, the network and also the reimbursement. I'm going to share my screen in order to show you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. This is MAPFRE Salud. This is our brand. This is I'm going to show you the asistencia sanitaria. Let me see. Okay. This is the type of insurance for the most common health insurance solution in MAPFRE. I'm going to tell you about our national medical network. We have now agreements with more than 33,400 doctors, physicians, and we have more than 1,400 centers. And out of those 1,400, there are 259 hospitals. We have agreements with the main hospital networks in Spain, Quirón, Vitas, Universidad de Navarra. All the most important hospitals have agreements with us. That agreement means that as soon as you are there with the card, they will attend you, they will provide the medical service, and they will charge the expenses to MAPFRE. MAPFRE has inside that agreement, there are special prices based on our amount of insurer. I can tell you also, and I will take advantage, that we reach already 1 million insured people in Spain. We are we are in the top 5 of the health insurance companies. And then you have individual products. You can choose the co-payment product, or you can choose the without co-payment. You know that there are little, for example, every time you need to go to the doctor, you have to pay €1, €2. You can choose that type of insurance, or if you don't want to pay that, you will choose the other one. This will be a little more expensive. Then let me exactly. Then you. There are very important things that differentiate our coverage from other companies, like the surgery techniques. We are using the Da Vinci robotic surgery, something that other companies are not using, and that is the more avant-garde technique for surgery. Our prostheses and implants are one of the most variable range of prostheses, and we do something different from the others. We reimburse a fixed amount for the expense of the prostheses. Other companies make obligatory to use the prosthesis they tell you. We allow the physician to decide which is the best one. We have no limit in rehabilitation and speech therapy sessions. There are several. I will send you this presentation, because there are several characteristics that make us different. We have something very interesting, is the reimbursement of expenses for adoption. some people think that this doesn't have anything to do with health insurance. We included here, and up to 12,000, our insured people can use this coverage. We have all free dental benefits for people insured younger than 50 years old. Preventive medicine, we have the most complete range of preventive programs, because sometimes we believe in something. If you provide preventive medicine to our insured, they won't be ill. So we prefer to spend money providing them these programs instead of when the person is already ill to have to pay. We think it's even more humanitarian. You know? We have also access to, I told you about our network in Spain, more than 33,000 physicians, but you can also have access to a network of United States hospitals using our second opinion. Our second opinion program is that you receive a diagnosis of cancer, for example. You can use that second opinion, and through that second opinion, if our doctor confirms the diagnosis, he can allow you to go to the best hospital in the States. The insured person will pay the bill, and we will reimburse 60% of the expenses.
Antonio,
we also have
sorry to
reproduction.
interrupt you, Antonio. Is that the one that you are sharing now with the audience? Is that the non-lucrative visa type of insurance, or is it? I think there is a Supra one. There is a question there. I think they're saying what you were just explaining now. Is it just if I get a health insurance, that will include it in the health insurance, or is this like an extra coverage insurance?
No.
Type?
All this is included in the basic health insurance.
Right.
This is not
okay.
an upgrading. No.
Right.
No. This is not. I'm showing you the basic health insurance. This is not the reimbursement insurance. This is included in the basic, in the asistencia sanitaria, in the medical network.
In the basic one, yes, in the basic one that they will get for the TIE and for the non-lucrative visa or the golden visa, correct? And reimburse, it will be like an extra one, right? When you go and choose the doctor that you like. Is that correct?
That is an upgrading, and that is not exactly. This is not, in my opinion, this is not something you have to hire. You have to get the contract for the visa. It's an option. It's an option if you want to be to get a better coverage, or you want to choose your doctor. This is the basic.
I think that's clear, because there was a question here from Georgia asking for you to clarify that. Okay, please carry on, Antonio. Let's try to move on, because we're running out of time now.
Okay. No, this is I already finished. This is the more important things about our insurance product, and I will be available for answering the questions.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Antonio. I think you made it very clear.
You're welcome.
That you have the two options. For those who are applying for the TIE, which are still on time to prove that they were residents in Spain before the 31st of December, they will need to provide an insurance. Okay, as Richard said, it's being more and more difficult because extranjería offices are being difficult, saying unless you have padron dated before the 31st of December, you're not going to get your TIE under the withdrawal agreement, which I consider that's completely wrong. And Richard, we did already, for your information, lodge a one court case against the extranjería offices, the appeal, asking for the preliminary measure, the temporary authorization for that. because the client did have everything, but didn't have the padron, but he had even letters from teachers, witnesses, etc., etc. So I will update you on that however, we did lodge it in April and the hearing will be in February of next year. So it's going to take time. Yeah, Richard.
One question that has come up on this, that where the appeal process is starting, just as you've described, people are not in an overstay situation, are they?
What do you mean?
In other words, they're only allowed to be in Spain for 90 days.
Right.
But if you've lodged an appeal, then they're allowed to stay.
You're in process. Yeah, what we're doing, Richard, let's say they comply with all the requirements except the padron. We ask for a temporary measure, so like an official authorization for you to stay. But if you're in process, obviously, as long as you have a letter from your solicitor, you have the application with you. Obviously, I wouldn't leave the country, Richard, without the official authorization, because obviously you'll be in the limbo, without paperwork, But yes, moving through here, and before Antonio goes, Antonio, just to close with insurance, I don't know whether we'll have more questions about the health insurance in Spain. I'm going to pass over to Pedro. He's going to speak about basic requirements for non-lucrative visa, which is insurance, it is one of them, and the golden visa. Okay? And if there is some questions in the panel, Antonio, feel free to intervene. Over to you, Pedro.
Okay, Ignacio, thank you very much, and thank you, Richard and Antonio. I'll try to explain rapidly which are the differences between the golden visa, as it's been said by Ignacio, and the non-lucrative visa. These two, I would say that most of the questions that we are requiring right now from this period of time are being golden visa and non-lucrative visa. There are some videos I've made in order to make some differences regarding one of them, but I will say the non-lucrative visa it was started for people who wanted to retire in Spain, who wanted to be retired in Spain. You are not allowed to work, and you will be resident in Spain, which means that you will be tax resident in Spain. Okay, well, as you are going to be tax resident in Spain, is something that you need to check, is something that you need to verify and revise. Okay, for non-lucrative visa, in order to renew it, once you apply for that, you will obtain it in 1 year time, will be 1 year plus 2, and then plus 5. And for this year that you're going to renew it for the following 2 years, you need to be resident in Spain, which means that you need to be more than 183 days in Spain. Will be required, and you will have to show that you've been really living in Spain. So the non-lucrative visa, you have to show. There are, I would say, 3 documents which are important. The first one is the criminal records. Criminal records, that you don't have any criminal records in the last 5 years where you've been living in Spain. That's extremely important. That document is a public document, needs to be stamped by the Hague Convention apostille, and then with a strong translation. Okay, that's important. And the health insurance, as has been said by Antonio, can be public access or private system, private insurance. We always, in the first time, in order to apply for, we require the private insurance in order to be applied. I think it's been asked in some way about the period of time. Obviously, you need to have an insurance policy for the period of time that you are going to have the authorization to be resident in Spain. For the non-lucrative visa will be for 1 year. So you need to have access with a policy, insurance policy, that is going to cover you for the first year. Obviously, the insurance company, they provide until the very last day of the year, until the 31st of December, and then from that date until whatever is going to end up on the year. And so we said criminal records, public and private insurance, and the financial means. A non-lucrative visa, you don't have to invest. You don't have to, what you have to have is savings, enough money to live in Spain without work. That's the point. You are not allowed to work. So, which is the minimum amount that you need to show to the Spanish authorities to live in Spain, to have access to the non-lucrative visa? For one person, 27,000 euros. And for two people, let's say a couple, it will be 34,000 euros total. So it will be 27,000 euros plus 7. This is the minimum amount in order to show that you have enough money to live in Spain, and this money do not have to be from work. So you don't have to depend on work to receive this money. Let's say some savings, some deposits, some funds, some income that you have, some investments, all that money, all that proof will be perfect, but not income from work that do not depend on your work to obtain it. Then we have received many questions regarding this. Can I work in Spain remotely from a company outside of Spain, outside of Spain or outside Europe? Yes, I mean, technically you cannot work in Spain. So technically you cannot get an employee or an employment in Spain. But having said that, if you show savings, proof, funds, enough money to live in Spain without work, but alternatively, you also work remotely, so it is not an employment in Spain, it's an employee for a company outside Spain, I assume there will not be any rejection on that. Technically, you cannot work in Spain, but in those circumstances, at this time, there is no rules about that, but I will say, you cannot work in Spain, but with these circumstances, you will be able to work. Important, you don't have to show, I mean, it's not an issue, obviously, that you depend on your work. I mean, because this visa, you are not allowed to work, and you have to have enough money to live in Spain without working. Okay, having said that, let's go to the golden visa. The golden visa, you need to invest. It's an investment visa, it's an investment program. The minimum investment is 500,000 euros in property, in real estate. So this 5,000 euros investment will allow you to have access to a visa and authorization to live or be resident in Spain as an investment in Spain. Okay, let's make a difference about the visa and residency. You can obtain the golden visa and you don't have to be resident in Spain. You can obtain a golden visa and live in Spain 3 months, 4 months, a year, or 5 months and a half a year, or 8 months or 9 months, whatever you want to. But you need to understand that if you live in Spain more than 183 days in Spain, you will become tax resident, okay? And for that reason will be some implications on taxes, okay? It's important for the golden visa. Obviously, you need to make an investment on property. Can be 1 property, can be 2 properties, can be 10 properties. It doesn't matter how many properties you invest. The minimum amount to invest must be 500,000 euros without any mortgage. Let's put an example. That you want to buy a property of 1 million euros and you want to apply for a loan of €500,000 euros. You will be able to obtain a golden visa. You will invest 500,000 euros. The other half will be given to you as a loan by a bank, and then you will buy the property and you will be able to obtain the golden visa. But if, for example, if you are buying a property of more than 500,000 euros, let's say 600,000 euros, and you get a loan of 300,000 euros, half of that, you will not obtain, obviously, the golden visa, because from your pocket really will be brought just 300,000 euros. Okay, another example regarding marriage. And then this is important to say it. If there is a marriage and you buy a property of 600,000 euros, for example, which is over the minimum, you need to say in the deed that the purchase of this property, of those properties, is being made according to your matrimony, according to your marriage communal agreement, which means that it's jointly, it's both jointly without separated assets. Okay, that's important. And if you say that, you will be able, one of you will be able to apply for as a principal for the gold visa, and the other one to be a family member. Okay, apart from that, for the golden visa, the requirements are more or less the same as a non-lucrative visa. criminal records, financial means again, and the public or private insurance by an authorized company in Spain as MAPFRE it is. Okay, well, Ignacio, this is basically the differences between non-lucrative visa and golden visa. Obviously, I will be able to open in order to answer any other questions may appear in the chat.
Okay, thank you very much, Pedro. Going into the investment side, we're going to have Sergio, who's going to explain to us. He's one of the top companies who I believe have been over 40 years, I believe. And he's going to show us, we've got so many questions about on a non-lucrative visa, what kind of properties they could rent or they could buy, obviously below 500,000 euros. And I would like Sergio, if he could just tell us a little bit, for those who are planning to buy with a budget of 500,000 euros. And obviously, Pedro, the situation will be in what names they put the property on, because that's one of the things important for the golden visa, which has to be in one name and the other party beneficiary, if you want to come in later on. So I would like Sergio to present him and see what kind of things in Costa Blanca we could see. Okay, so Sergio, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ignacio. Welcome also to all the participants. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to present our company. It's a big pleasure being here with you. So first thing that I would like to say is to explain a little bit who we are and what we are doing. Euromarina, as you said, is a big Spanish building company. We are now 49 years old. Next year, we will have an anniversary. We will be 50 years old. We're working from 1972. During all this period, we've built more than 35,000 houses, 35,000 homes for people from very different nationalities. We have in our customers list like more than 70 different nationalities from all over the world. We are located in the area of Costa Blanca and Costa Cálida, and we are building properties in towns or cities like Alicante, Torrevieja, Guardamar, La Zenia. So we have different locations with different types of properties. It can be starting from apartments or townhouse, going up to big detached private villas. I think that we have prepared this short video that we can play right now. And this video will let you see a little bit of the area where we are located, and also will show some of the properties that we are building. And after that, I would like to show the screen, to share my screen for a few minutes. And then I will show you a little bit some type of properties that we are building and explain which one is applicable for a golden visa, which one is applicable for a non-lucrative. So if that's okay, we will put the
Okay, Juanfran, sí. Over to Juanfran.
Okay.
Okay, over to you, Sergio, and then later on, I would like to come and pass it to Michael Davies about the process of buying a property in Spain. So just please carry on.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I will share my screen so you will be able to see on our webpage different types of properties that our company can offer. I think that you can see it now already. For example, here we are seeing a detached villa that, as you can see, the price is 578,000 euro. This one will be applicable, for example, for a golden visa. A customer that buys this type of villa can apply for a golden visa. As you can see, this is a detached villa with a big plot, private swimming pool, nice surroundings. I will pass to another picture. Here you can see a little bit the interiors. We are using the latest materials. We have a whole team that makes the decoration, furniture, curtains, illumination. You can see here a little bit more pictures. We like having very open spaces in our properties. Here you can see the dining room together with the kitchen. The kitchen is here. The bedrooms, basically in this one, for example, if we look at, after I'm going to show you the floor plan of this villa, you will see that everything, all the living area is on one floor. The living room and the 3 bedrooms are located on the same level, which is very, very comfortable. And then upstairs, I'm going to show you now another picture. Upstairs, you have a big private solarium. You can see it here with very nice views to the lakes. And this is the location. You can see also that this is located in front of a park area. Then scrolling a little bit down, you have all the specifications of this villa. You also can see the distance to the beach, the distance to the golf courses. All our properties are located in areas where it's very easy to access to shops, supermarkets, bars, restaurants, also golf courses. Scrolling a little bit down, you can see the location and then also some videos of each property and of the areas where they are located. Okay, and now I'm going to show you another type of property, for example, for a non-lucrative visa. It can be an apartment. It's open right now. For example, this kind of apartments in the residential Fortuna, the starting price, as you can see, is 189,000 euro. And here we can see the pictures. All these apartments are located in a gated community with a big communal area, nice communal swimming pool, but also each apartment has a private exterior area. It can be a private garden if the apartment is located downstairs, or a private solarium if it is located upstairs. Here you can see more pictures of the gated area and a little bit more of inside the apartment. As you can see, really spacious. This one, for example, is a living room, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Oops.
Okay, Sergio, and what type of price are we talking about?
We are talking about this one is starting from 189,000 euro, for example. So this one is for a non-lucrative visa, for a non-lucrative residence, could be one of the options.
And do you guys rent properties or have properties for rent for those clients who would like to rent first? Is there a possibility?
Yes, as I told you, we are a building company. So what we really do is building and selling, but we have companies that collaborate with us and that dedicate to rent the properties. So yes, we have a lot of customers that are investing in Spain, buying the properties from us, and then getting profit by renting all these properties. And
okay, Sergio,
also
that's good.
one of the most important things that I wanted to mention also, all the properties that you can see on our website are key ready, so they are all ready to move in. As you can see on the pictures, most of the properties are completely furnished, decorated, so as I say, ready to move in.
Okay, thank you, Sergio. We're running out of time, and I think it's very important for now to introduce Michael Davies. He's a very well expert solicitor, dealing with Spanish property and inheritance in Andalusia. And I would like Michael, obviously, for him to give us his comments, and if he could tell us a little bit about buying a property in Spain in the right direction. It's a pleasure to have you, Michael. Over to you.
Hello, Ignacio. Can you hear me well? Because I'm not in my normal office today.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
That's no problem.
Okay. Okay, for those that you don't know me, my name is Michael Davies. I'm a Spanish lawyer. Ignacio, I think I'm going to have problems with my
headphones,
earphones today. You may have to take over. Let me see. It's up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
It's working perfect.
I'll give it one last try. See? Okay. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Michael Davies. I'm a Spanish lawyer, and we operate from Andalusia. We've been here for 25 years. Now, Ignacio, you're going to have to take over today because I have a buzz in my earphones and I can't.
Okay. Well, give a try, Michael. If without the headphones you could talk, because we hear you very well. If you cannot, then we'll take over. Try to do it. Otherwise, we'll just start with some questions.
Can you hear me? No.
Yes.
1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you can hear me now, yes?
Yes, perfectly. Michael, over to you.
Maybe a bit of echo. Okay. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Michael Davies. I'm a Spanish lawyer, and I've been operating in Andalusia for 25 years. I have various offices along the coast here, Marbella, which is in Malaga, Almeria, and Majaca. Ignacio and Pedro operate in the Valencia region. Ignacio's in Alicante, Pedro in the north of, you're in Denia and Moreira. Okay, so regarding purchasing a property of Spain, one of the first things that we think that you should do is find a good lawyer to help you with the purchase process. He'll also be able to advise you on the different systems regarding inheritance tax, which is different depending on what region of Spain you buy in. So if that's something that worries you, you should talk to a solicitor about it. And regarding the purchase process, you find the lawyer, find the property that you like. Once you've found it, we always recommend not handing over any money until the solicitor's had a chance to at least see the basic paperwork to the property. So once you've found the property, go and see the solicitor. He will then talk to the agent and get hold of the basic documentation. Most agents will ask for a €3,000 reservation initially to take the property off the market. And then normally on second-hand property, you'd move towards a 10% deposit contract, normally within a couple of weeks of handing over the reservation, and we'd set a completion date, which would normally be around anywhere between a month and 3 months, but 2 months is about the average for a completion in Spain. The solicitor will normally ask you to issue power of attorney to him, and he'll be requesting your NIE numbers, and then he'll handle all the actual conveyance, the opening of the bank account, and all these things for you. Regarding, I know we haven't got much time, so I'm really going through it very, very quickly today. As far as the purchase prices, if you buy a second-hand property, think around anywhere between 10 and 12% for all the expenses. It depends on the region of Spain where you are. In Andalusia, until the end of the year, we have a special deal on transfer tax, which is only 7%. In the Valencia region, I think you're at 10%. That's why we've got this sort of margin, depending on where you buy, between 10 and 12% for all the expenses. If you buy a new property, it's slightly more, because instead of transfer tax, which is either 7 or 10%, depending on where you are, instead of that, you'll pay VAT, which is at 10%. And in addition, you'd have to pay a document tax, which runs anywhere between 1.2 and 1.5, depending on what region of Spain you are. So for a new property, the expenses would come to a little bit more, maybe anywhere between 11 and 13% would be the average. Normally, the lawyer will recommend that you make Spanish wills once you've purchased a property in Spain. We definitely do. I think 𝐼𝐴𝐵𝐷𝐼 and Pedro both recommend Spanish wills as well. It's definitely the best way to deal with things. Once you've purchased your property, if you remain non-residents, your tax situation is very, very simple. You do one very simple return every year, non-resident tax. It's a little bit more complicated if you rent it out, but not much more, not very complicated. If you become residents in Spain, then you'll need to get a firm of accountants to deal with your annual returns. In our case down here in 𝐴𝐵𝐷𝐼, we don't do tax returns, but I know Ignacio and Pedro have got accountants in their firm as well, and they do deal with the annual tax returns for residents. Well, so that's it in a nutshell. I mean, there's so much more. I know I had 2 minutes, so there you go. That's it. So if anyone's got any specific question, we can answer today, or if you leave the question, we'll get back to you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Michael. Yes, today we're busy because we're trying to comply here with all the legal steps, from someone just getting their paperwork in order, what kind of insurance he should get, what sort of properties, and then buying a property abroad in a legal and safe way, as you and me have seen.
If anyone wants to purchase a property, if you go to either Ignacio and Pedro's website, which is pellicerheredia.com, if you're buying in the Valencia region, or daviessolicitors.com if you're buying in the Andalucía region, we offer lots and lots of free information, both written and in videos. And then if you're actually sort of seriously thinking about buying the property, contact either them or us, and we'll give you a free consultation to sort of explain the process in more detail.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Basically, just covering all the points. When somebody wants to come to Spain and stay more than 3 months, he should apply for his residency right before the December 2020. We call it the Residencia and TIE. For European, still Residencia, the green card, credit card side. Now we're facing the situation where a lot of people are getting, as Richard said, denying from extranjería. So I encourage people to look for solicitors to take it further to the courts in the area where they apply. So there in Almería, it will be Almería Court, Alicante Court, in Alicante, Malaga, etc. Because sometimes the criteria they're doing for those who you were under the withdrawal agreement is unfair, and therefore the judge will review the documentation. Then, as Pedro stated later on, the non-lucrative visa is for those who would like to stay in Spain for more than 6 months. For the British, after the withdrawal agreement. This is a non-lucrative visa, not requirements to buy a property. You can live on renting. And then, obviously, that type of visa is a non-lucrative visa, which makes you resident in Spain. And as Pedro stated, fiscal resident in Spain. So it's good for you to do tax planning. You have the golden visa, it gives you a permit, but doesn't really make you tax resident in Spain. But I encourage you to always seek advice on that. And whether we have a residencia or we have what we call TIE, or as Richard said, with the fingerprints when they come over with the non-lucrative visa and golden visa, we all need to have at least for 1 year health insurance. I would like to inform people here as well that after 1 year, they could even join the public system if they wish. They could combine it with 2 systems, or either carry on with private and public, or just choose. Okay. I don't know if Richard would like to add something else from the expat community here. There is, I'm sure we will have questions about did Brexit change on taxes, which we did cover on different webinars, but we couldn't bring more information here now. I don't know if Richard, would you like to add something else we missed today on this express hour for expats on the new legal scenario? Over to you, Richard.
Yeah, very quickly, and this is to Pedro. Pedro, could you just explain to people who go for the NLV what the process is when they arrive in Spain? Because many simply don't know what they should do when they arrive in Spain. That's it for that one. There is one other.
Okay, Pedro, just you need to turn it on.
Oh, sorry. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so once you submit the application and you obtain a favorable resolution that you are getting a visa to enter in Spain, you are normally, when this resolution takes up, let's say between 1.5 months, 2 months, maybe more, it could be a maximum of 3 months. And once you receive a notification as a favorable notification, you have 1 month to go and get it. Once you get a visa, you are allowed to enter in Spain. Well, you have a right in order to enter in Spain for the following. Normally it's 90 days, and normally it's 3 months. So, and once you enter in Spain, will be really the entrance, will be the period of time where you start becoming resident. Okay, once you're in Spain, and this is the question, Richard, when you're in Spain, when you have, obviously you have a resolution made by an immigration office that you are obtaining a visa, a residency, an authorization to be resident in Spain, but you need to make an appointment in the immigration office in order to obtain the TIE card. You need to make the fingerprints, be recorded into the immigration office and the police in order to be able to have a proper immigration, let's say, identity card, or let's say a card that identifies you properly, and they have all the details about you, that you have entry and you have access to this card, which is an obligation. It's not a rush, I would say, but it's an obligation. Once you enter in Spain, you need to, the final step is at the end to apply for an appointment in the immigration office through your lawyer, solicitor, in order to obtain the identity card, the TIE card, and obviously you need to make the fingerprints. It's just I would say just a day that you need to do this, but it's extremely important to have it. Okay, because that will show you, you have approved that you have entered in Spain. How have you done, obviously, the last step?
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Richard, was something else, or I will just pass it on to, over to you.
Very, very quickly. The other question that we've been asked is about swallows who wish to come out here more than 90 days, but less than 183. In theory, there is the ability to get an extension, which you, as I understand it, apply for before you come out. Do you have any information on this?
Pedro, would you like to say that? That basically is when somebody comes for 3 months as a tourist and they would like to ask for an extension, which they could do on the police station. But over to you, Pedro. I don't know if we've done it in the past for different non-European, but over to you, Pedro.
Well, probably Richard knows more about this extension. At this time, this month, we haven't done it. I personally haven't done it, this extension. I'm sure it's an exceptional extension. And I mean, right now, the rules, and I understand how the immigration office we've been speaking with, I mean, they're very straightforward on these 90 days into the 180 days. Obviously, maybe will be more flexibilities or rules in order to do this, but this extension is with some exceptional circumstances. I understand. I personally haven't done it, but obviously, Richard, I'm sure that you may have some people that you may know that has been done, but I haven't done it, Ignacio.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. I know as an exceptional thing you could apply, but we still didn't get the. With British, Richard, we didn't cover. I know in the past we've been dealing with different non-European, but probably you will need to prove why you want to extend it, and it's a bit. It's better not to count on it. But yes, if there is certain cases, you could ask, as Pedro said, an extension and inform the police. I'm going to try to wrap up. I don't know if Antonio, would you like to say any good tips about? about health? Somebody needs to think about anything about health that they need to bear in mind, or over to you, Antonio.
No, I'm also learning a lot because I didn't know some the information you are providing, and I said about my experience as an expatriate, and I believe, I really believe, and I encourage everybody to be safe with the health insurance, because without it, everything will fall down. No? If something happens. So I really encourage people to get the health insurance.
To protect themselves. Okay. Thank you very much, Antonio. Juanfran is going to just close the webinar with the video. I thank you all for your time and being with us. We are 1 hour. I leave you with a video. I'm looking forward to seeing you probably in July now, because we're taking 2 weeks and then we'll be back. I'm sure Michael will join us soon. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Antonio, Pedro, Michael, and Sergio. Okay. See you soon.
See you.
You're new to Spain and in need of legal help. When you are in a country that is foreign to you, you want someone who speaks your language, who understands you, and who will have an answer to all immigration and nationality matters. At Pellicer and Heredia, you can count on a specialist in international law and a multidisciplinary team that can help you handle all the necessary formalities. Do you want to take advantage of the Golden Visa program? We will help you obtain the residence visa for investors through the purchase of a property or via a business project that you're looking to develop in Spain. Do you need a residence permit? Obtain it for non-profit purposes or through family, work, study, research and training purposes. If, on the other hand, what you are looking for is a renewal, we take care of the whole process, so all you need to do is leave your fingerprint. We also deal with re-entry permits in the case that you want to leave and return to Spain. And of course, we help you obtain the certificate of registration as a European citizen, the foreigner's identity number, Spanish citizenship, and the certified translation of documents in all languages. Because at Pellicer and Heredia, we know that speaking your language is the only way to gain your confidence. Trust that we repay with 2 words: professionalism and commitment. Pellicer and Heredia, international lawyers.